How many reverbs? So, how many reverbs are we going to add to our session? Now, there's a couple of lines of thought here, and basically the general rule is 2. But as far as what 2 is where the different lines of thought come in. Basically, there's 1 which says have a large reverb, large hall, a large room, and a small room. Okay? So a long reverb and a short reverb, basically. And then you adjust which reverb that is and such as you work on your mix, and you're going to have some elements that have the longer reverb and some that have the shorter one. Another train of thought is that you have one reverb that sounds really good on your lead vocal and one reverb that sounds good on your snare drum. So what we're going to do in this session is we're going to work on trying to find a reverb that sounds good on our vocals, and we're going to find a reverb that sounds good on our drums. So we've already pulled up TL Space here, and we have the picture of the factory up. We're going to just go ahead and click on the factory so that loads it up, and we'll exit that out. So that's still happening here, and what we need to do is we need to go to some of our reverb sends here and push some of them up. Now if we just hold Option, we can actually click on each of these and it'll jump up to Unity. Okay, and so then if we solo the choir, now we're just going to hear the choir.
This too shall pass.
Okay, and notice we're sending a lot of reverb over there. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, just like everything else, you're going to want to be a little bit extreme as you're working on your reverb, so that you can then back off, so you can hear what you're doing and then back off and get to that subtle range. But when we're trying to figure out what reverb we want to use, we're going to kind of crank it up because we're going to try to hear what sounds best on it, and maybe we're never going to listen to it and put it in there at huge levels like it is right now, but we need to kind of crank it up so we can really hear what it's sounding like.
This too shall pass. This time in your life.
Okay, so what we're going to do is go through and try to find different reverbs. Just kind of go through the reverbs till you find what's sounding good. Okay. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so that's got some possibility to it. But let's go ahead and go to the churches here, since this is a gospel choir, and let's try some of these churches.
This too shall pass. This time in your life won't last. I found a real friend. He'll be there through thick and thin. May not come soon. Could be morning, night, or noon. One thing for sure is that he will be there. This too shall pass.
Okay, so that one sounds good on the vocals. Okay, so I like that one, and watch what happens when we go and kind of back off our vocals.
This too shall pass. This time in your life won't last. I found a real friend. He'll be there through thick and thin. May not come soon. Could be morning, night, or noon. One thing for sure is...
Okay, so we got kind of a nice sound going on there. And so we found one reverb for our vocals. And the nice thing is then you can actually go over and say, okay, well check this out. Let's actually take our organ track, since we're putting it in a church. Watch what happens when we... And that sounds like An organ playing in church. Okay, and then we could go through and add it to some of the other tracks as well.